So Margie, I know that I've asked you questions in the past, and there's probably some common questions that you get quite often. Could you let me know a little bit about what those might be and how you answer those?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So a couple common things that I'll hear from people that when they finally do come in to see me, they tell me why they waited, why they put everything off. Very commonly, dealing with attorneys, cost. People are very worried about what the cost is going to be. Most people that are coming to see me have probably never had to talk to an attorney before. They've never had to see one. They have in their mind what they know from TV shows or things where they hear everything is expensive. If I call you, send an email, every little thing I'm going to get billed for. That's not the way that I operate. Most times when people are coming to see me, we will talk about what needs done. It's a free consultation, and we start very basic. Talk about what may need done, and again, price it out and go from there. But it's a flat rate. And I do that on purpose because as we're going through this process, there are people, again, who never had to deal with an attorney before. So I want them to feel comfortable that if they think about something about their kids or their grandkids, they don't feel uncomfortable calling or worrying that they're going to get an invoice in the mail. So it brings me to another point. When they do come in, most people envision that they have to have, spreadsheets of documentation and paperwork and information. And sometimes people literally come in with a piece of paper with some basic notes written down. I always tell people names, addresses, and phone numbers of people that you want to include to handle things like an executor or a power of attorney for yourself, and that's really all we need to start. This is not an all or nothing proposition. When people come in to see me, I'm not intending this to be every last decision has to be made today. Now, some people are very ready for that. They've been thinking about this, and they know what the situation is, so they are at that point. But there is very, very commonly people that come in, they want to come back when one of their children's in town, they feel comfortable having a child there, or maybe they don't. Some people go the opposite, or they have to think about some decisions. They want to talk to, the kids over an upcoming holiday. I have absolutely nothing to hide with people, so if they wish that their kids are there or they don't, that's totally up to them.
Sure, and I know that you've talked in the past about kind of reviewing a 3 to 5 year window. So yeah, not every decision has to be made immediately. As things develop and change and as people get more comfortable, they can do those things. So I appreciate that. Is there anything else that is a common issue that people have or common misconception that they might have seeing someone like yourself?
So I think the time involved, they worry, that they're working, maybe they have some health concerns going on, which obviously are reasons that, sometimes we do need to look at this stuff sooner rather than later. But they kind of build up in their mind that, the time along with that cost involved and the paperwork and organization they have to have is going to be way too much for them to deal with. I probably have said this over and over in different things when I've talked with people. 2 half-hour visits beginning and to sign can take care of things. Even if that means in between you've gone home, we've had to talk about a list of questions and things that you've had to pull together and then come back when you're comfortable. That's a very easy way to look at it. And again, most people, I would say when they're done, they say, wow, this gave me great peace of mind. It was a lot easier and less expensive than I anticipated.
Sure, and I know that everything that you're geared toward is for that comfortability. And yeah, that 2 half-hour sessions, I think that could put a lot of people at ease as far as what the effort is involved in at least getting started.
Right. And which brings me to probably one last point I definitely want to make here, which is that people think, well, what decisions do I have to make? Again, I see a financial advisor. There are a lot of different investment decisions and things we have to look at and, looking at the future and costs and things. It's not nearly as involved when we're talking about what I'm dealing with. Okay. So the decisions that have to be made, even though people, when I say, well, what would you think we have to decide? They said, I don't know. I just envision there's going to be all kinds of things. And so the truth is, again, just like with the other points that we've mentioned, the decisions that you need to make are actually very straightforward. Unfortunately, some people's situations, we do have different decisions to make. Maybe we have some special needs situations or some different concerns going on, which of course can complicate things, but even more so in those situations, we definitely want to provide and take care of our estate planning for those reasons, because there's definitely some things going on. But generally speaking, I would say most people, it's really not that complicated, it's not that involved, and we want to, again, 2 half-hour, times, It's usually a very, very modest amount of outlay in terms of cost, and not a whole heap of decisions and information we need to get these basics in place. Because again, we can review every 3 to 5 years, and we can certainly make updates as things change. I think it's just one important point to note that, having those basic things in place, even if you do know you're probably going to change them down the line, is a great place to start. It's not set in stone, and you can always make changes.
Absolutely. I think that would set a lot of people at ease. So thank you, Margie.
Thank you.